We've talked on the YouTube channel about Lost Planet, guys, this franchise that has seen 3 editions up to this point, or 3 games up to this point. And we've talked here, and you guys can check out all the Lost Planet content here on the YouTube channel, but we've talked about the future here. So we've talked about the past, the present, and what could be the future of the Lost Planet franchise. And Lost Planet 4 is certainly something that I would like to see. A lot of you out there have expressed that you would like to see as well. And the question, though, lies in, will it happen? And I think that there's certainly a possibility, guys. But typically speaking, with any franchise out there, when you see the end of or an indefinite hiatus or a limbo state of a franchise, typically you've got a couple of reasons why a game would go in that direction. One would be critical reception, 2 would be sales, and I always thought that Lost Planet 3 didn't do as good of a job of the marketing and things of that nature to get people excited for Lost Planet 3 like it did with the first 2 games. And so with that, guys, I wanted to go over the top 5 things that we want out of Lost Planet 4. And when I say we, guys, I'm going to be talking about myself here and my opinions. Some of you may share similar opinions and some of you may not, but I would like to hear your top 5 things that you would like to see in Lost Planet 4 in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So as I said, guys, I felt like the 3rd game was kind of a step in the wrong direction for the franchise. So coming in at number 1 for me, I would like to see a soft reboot of this franchise, similar to that of something like Call of Duty and how Call of Duty went in the direction of Modern Warfare here as their latest game in the franchise. And I would like to see them do something similar to this with Lost Planet, where they do a soft reboot, guys, and with that, kind of I feel like it's important that they change things that they need to, but they also keep some things the same, the core mechanics and things of that nature that the first couple of games really did well. And I think doing that, though, but in a soft reboot format, it would have people maybe would kind of look at that and think to themselves that they would at least want to give it a try. That leads me to number 2, guys, which is personally, I would like to see a semi-open world to a full open world scenario in Lost Planet. I think that there's so much to explore and such here, and I think the more exploration that you can do would be awesome. We've had semi-open world elements to Lost Planet in the past. Having a full open world, though, would be something pretty special, I think. I think that there needs to be, some more variety here with the reboot, that is. I feel that what they need to do is have more places that you're able to explore, more things to do along the journey that is the course of the campaign or whatever it might be that they decide and direction they decide to go in. That leads me to number 3, guys, which is new enemies, new environments, as well as new characters. And so, look, when I say that, the enemies, as well as the other characters and some of the environments in the first few games here, I've liked some of them and I haven't liked some of them. And I think that between Lost Planet 1 and Lost Planet 2, they kind of changed some things. They had some new enemies. They brought in some old ones from the previous game. And I think it's important that they continue that, bringing in things that are familiar to us, having also things that are different. And that goes with the environments, the locations. I think that I felt like there's so much snow, so many snow maps and such with the Lost Planet universe. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think they need to also expand it to other places, more terrain to explore and such. And like I said, having things along the way that you can do along the journey, that being like, other side missions and finding collectibles and things of that nature. That leads me to number 4, guys, which is multiplayer and co-op modes. I think it's really important that there's multiplayer here, there's co-op here, so that after you're done playing the single player story or the co-op story, you have other things that you can do. That being like playing multiplayer. This is a game that's primed for, having multiplayer experience or expanded upon, multiplayer experiences. And I think it's important that we see that moving into Lost Planet 4 here. I think that at the end of the day, when you beat a story mode, a lot of times people will maybe play it a second time. They'll play it on a harder difficulty, look for the collectibles, but then after that, you may move on to another game. Whereas if there's multiplayer in co-op modes, there's more reasons to come back and play the game, and that's what I think needs to happen here with the continuation of Lost Planet 4. And that leads me into number 5, guys, which is free-to-play elements. And so what I'm getting at here is I would love to see the game be a free-to-play experience, or at least have the multiplayer, the co-op modes be free-to-play, similar to games out there that have modes and such that are free to play, where everyone can at least try it out. And I think that's really important, guys, with this franchise, because look, what we can probably agree on is that the first 2 Lost Planet games were doing really good. They were going on this like incline. It was starting to build momentum. And then the third game came out and there was a dip. There was a valley there. So you were peaking and then you go down in a valley. And I think all it takes is one game to hurt a franchise. It takes one game to bring it right back up. And I think Lost Planet 4 could certainly be that for this franchise. And so some of you out there may like Lost Planet 3. The facts are, though, guys, is that, really from a critical reception, from a sales perspective, it just didn't make a lot of sense for them to continue, because of, more so at the end of the day, it's really the sales is what kind of might have been the demise of the Lost Planet universe so far. But I believe that they did a soft reboot, guys. They kind of implemented certain things into it, that being like multiplayer where it's like free to play. I think it could do really well, actually, especially on the next-gen hardware, which is, better graphics and things of that nature. I think it could do really well, guys, moving forward. But I'd love to know from all of you, what are the top 5 things that you want to see in Lost Planet 4? And are they similar to what I want? Or are they completely different? Let me know in the comment section below. And for more Lost Planet 4 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.